Hey everyone, it is very late on a Sunday night, actually very early on a Monday morning. I've got a listing that'll be hitting the real estate board. If you're looking for an inexpensive house, I have one coming up at 189.9 this Monday morning. I'll be up early this morning to be able to get it out to the real estate board so that I can start putting photos in and everything. But I wanted to cover, and it's out in the county, so if you want to get away from the city, it is not expensive to get out into the county. You can simply call me and we can go and buy a $189,900 house. Ideally, the client wants a little bit more than that for it, and I'm hoping to be able to try to get a little bit more than that for them. So, week ending December 10th, we've seen active listings drop, and this is what I'm talking about as far as what the pricing points for February become. All of a sudden, as we get into December, our inventory just drops. The used cars or the new cars available to car dealerships just drop, which means the car prices go up by the time we get to February. Because people don't want to sell their house. They take their house off the market or they sell their house. So we had seen a ton of houses sell in the 300 and $400,000 price point, because those are the kinds of houses that people can afford to buy right now. So 707 active listings, down from 740 active listings last week. That is a big decrease. So as we get towards February, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher to find a house because we'll have less and less and less inventory on the market. Just less people wanting to move in the middle of winter time or needing to move in the middle of winter time. Last week we had 740 average, down from the week prior. So last week we had 61 houses that sold as well too. This week we had 55 houses that sold. Now, that's not that much of a decrease. That's only 6. So about 10% less than what we were at last week. Last week we listed the average total listings were $28,600,000. This week the total listings were $24,524,000, because we listed 6 houses less than last year, or than the last week. Sorry, that's very, very late. I wanted to get this out to you. Average or total selling price was $25,218,000 compared to $29,249,000 the week prior. Again, 6 houses difference. 6 houses by 460,000, 470 by 6 is 2.82 million. And you can see that we would be about $28 million pace. If we added 2.82 million to this number, we'd still be a little bit less than where we were last week. What was interesting this week, if you'll notice here, is that every house above 600, notice how there was a big difference between 540 and 649 asking prices or listing prices. All of a sudden we went from 540 and we jumped to 649. Now all the houses that were $650,000 and over all sold under their asking price. So the government was saying we want to bring housing prices down in Canada, and they're doing a really good job of that here in Windsor. It's working. Their process is working. Raising interest rates is bringing housing prices down in the super expensive houses because it's less and less people qualify for a super expensive house. More and more and more of us qualify for a less expensive house, putting strong demand on houses less than 650 in the city of Windsor, and you can see we sold a lot of them. Average listing price in the city of Windsor week over week was $445,000. Average listing price last week was $470,000. That is down $25,000. That's a good thing. If you're a buyer, the average pricing points in the city of Windsor have dropped to $25,000 week over week. Average selling price in the city of Windsor, $458,521. Last week was $479,000, so that's come down $20,000. So if you're out there looking for a house, it's a great time to be out there looking for a house because housing prices are coming down again in the city of Windsor, and inventory is drying up. We're down to 707 houses of inventory. Right? So it's all good. That's what, it's about 10 weeks of inventory roughly. And we'll get down to about 6 weeks of inventory by the time we get into February, and pricing points will be all changed around. So if you're looking for a house, now's a good time to be out there looking at a house and buying a house. So then when we look at the number of houses that sold under, notice how I said 100% of those above 650 sold under. But notice how the dynamic has changed. Notice how the flood of people into lower priced houses is starting to impact our market. Only 43.6% of the total houses sold for the week sold under. Last week, that was 50.8. So 7% of the houses are selling less. Notice how there's less reds here in these lower priced houses. Less of them are selling under. More of them are selling over as more demand hits the least expensive houses. Notice how here we had a lot of red. So here's 450. And notice how we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 under at 450. So let's go here to our 450. 450. And we only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sell under. So more demand in our cheaper priced houses, pushing those prices up. Makes perfect sense because there's more people looking for these houses because there's more people that qualify for these houses. There's less people looking for these houses because there's less people that qualify for these houses. Putting huge demand on our less expensive houses. So every realtor out there right now, if they're going to take a listing, would like to take a lower priced listing. They would not want to take a higher price listing. Less of those are selling. More of the least expensive houses are selling. So if you have a budget in mind, it's a great time to be looking for a house in the city of Windsor. Now, our stock is dropping tremendously. The nice houses are dropping really, really strongly because we've only got 707 active houses now in Windsor, Essex County. So that's hugely important from the concepts of what's going on in the market for this week. It's a strong, resilient market. We've seen some weakness come in as we head towards the holiday. Yes, there's market weakness coming in towards the holiday. Next week's number is going to be even less. I've got 2 listings going on this week at a very tough time to sell a house because there's going to be less activity. It just is what it is. We're heading into the holidays. But the houses need to be sold. So we sell them. Try to get them sold. They need more time, they need more time. So there's your weekly update for this week. A strong, resilient market again as well. As we're going towards the holidays, things are slowing down. The market action is starting, or what the government's been trying to do is starting to show up in the numbers here in the city of Windsor. That's all a good thing, I think. I don't think there's anything bad going on here whatsoever. We'll have to see what happens after we get through the holidays because we're staring at the holidays in the face right now. So if you're out there looking, it's a great time to be buying. If you need some help buying a house, give me a jingle, 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145. Be more than happy to help you. And if you are thinking about selling a house, it's a great time to be selling a house too. We just have to make sure that we give it some good marketing oomph and we give it a little bit of time to be able to get there. So give me a jingle, 519-995-6145. Yes, I've got 2 listings now on the market. And I can always take more listings. It's not a problem. Give me a jingle, 519-995-6145. I am going to go to bed. It's kind of late here, but this is your weekly update for the Windsor real estate market. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.